Hi guys, so today I have something a little bit different than what I normally do, which it's only been like 2 videos, so what I normally do doesn't really matter. But, today I have, hello Coco. Hey Cole. Today I have a knitting kit instead of my usual like crochet kit. And we're gonna see how that goes. So this is like the Coco. So this is, I think this is like Target brand or something, the Mondo Llama. It is a finger knitting blanket kit, which I've done finger knitting before and it's pretty fun. And I could use endless amounts of blankets. So we're gonna go ahead and try this out and see if it stands up to just the other kits that I've tried. Let's see if it has any issues, and if it does, we'll go over them at the end, or just whenever they show up. Alright, let's get this bad boy open. Coco, you gonna help me? You just gonna stare at me and judge me? She is very good at judging me and everyone else. Okay. I assume this is just gonna be a bunch of yarn because you don't really need anything other than that to do finger knitting. And they really packed it in there. Okay. So we have this giant bag of yarn. And I hope there's instructions. Oh, there are instructions. Let me get those. Alright, so we have instructions. Pretty basic. Oh, they at least tell you how to do a weaver's knot when you're attaching a new yarn, because that's really helpful. Weaver's knots are stronger than regular knots as far as like knitting and crocheting goes, so you'd want to do one of those instead of just a regular knot. But it's all up to personal preference. On these directions, though, they call it a magic knot and not a weaver's knot. I mean, I guess you could call it that. Let's get set up so we can get to it then. So here's the finished blanket. It is very big, very squishy, very cozy. And I'm sorry if you can hear my dog panting in the background. I had to take her ball and now she's waiting for me to give it back. So as you can see, this is a very thick, very warm blanket. I'm not a huge fan of the giant gaps in it, but that's just like a sensory thing that I have because I don't like getting my toes caught in it. It is very warm. It's made out of chenille yarn. So it did say that that when subjected to a lot of friction, that this yarn could shed. So if you do end up making one of these blankets, and even if you don't use this kit, even like you get a chenille yarn on your own, keep in mind that if you don't wash this on a gentle cycle, it's probably gonna shed everywhere, which would probably be a little bit disappointing. So the knots, you can kind of see the knots where I had to join new yarn, which this is the closest you're going to get to an invisible knot as possible in this blanket. Is the weaver's knot. Although they call it a magic knot, it is a weaver's knot. It had 5 or 6 skeins of yarn in there. I think overall that it turned out pretty well, and I'm going to be putting this in my living room because my sister, when she gets a hold of a thermostat, likes to make it an Arctic tundra in here. I think my toddler just woke up. Yep, I gotta go take care of that. I will say that blankets aren't usually something that I tend to finish, and because of how large the yarn is for this, like it was so easy to finish. I made it in like 2, maybe 3 hours because my toddler, she's been going through some things. She's just decided that she has a fear of the dark. She's also been going through some separation anxiety, and then on top of that, she is also coming down with something. Coco, on top of everything, she's not feeling good. And then, so she's been sleeping in my bed half the time. But if anybody has any advice on what to do when a toddler suddenly decides they're scared of the dark, like, just let me know, because I'm at a loss. For the yarn quality, I was pretty surprised that this was, you know, nice and soft. I wasn't, like, expecting really rough yarn, but I wasn't expecting yarn that was this soft. Sometimes those bigger yarns, like the thicker yarns, the number 5s, or like the blanket yarns, they'll look soft, but then they feel really terrible. So like, I'm just glad this one doesn't feel terrible, because I want to use it and I want to not have sensory issues while I'm using it. I do think blanket projects are one of those things where, like, when you're halfway through them, you start questioning your life choices, which is definitely something that happened here with this one. I have so many blankets that I have started to crochet and never finished, especially ones that are like this size. Finger knitting is definitely the way to go for me when it comes to larger blankets. I do have a baby blanket that I'm making for my toddler, that I started making for my toddler when I was pregnant. So she's 2 now, and I have not made any progress since this child was born. Maybe one day I'll finish her blanket for her. So part of the reason blankets are so hard to finish is, like, they're so exciting at first. You're so excited to see, like, this giant, beautiful finished product, but then it starts to take forever. And I'm impatient. So because I'm impatient, I'll get bored. Then the motivation's no longer there. So then I just stop making them. Working on this honestly felt like less of a crafting project and more like making something for future me, because of how cold my sister likes to turn down the temperature. When she gets up in the morning, she'll turn it down to like 66 degrees, and then I'll be up here freezing to death. Or actually, my room doesn't get too warm because of the computer, or it doesn't get too cold because of my computer, but downstairs is where the AC thrives, and like, it gets frigid down there. So this is going to save my life in a few circumstances, unless of course the inevitable happens and my toddler steals it from me, which she probably will. And then she'll probably get mad that her toes are getting stuck in the holes. We're gonna have another meltdown because she's 2 and we're going through the terrible 2s. And every day I question my life choices. And every day it's just a struggle. It's the struggle bus. The struggle bus is dragging me through it, especially with my husband being deployed, like single parenting, and then having my sister here, and we're like at each other's throats all the time. It's a whole thing. I cannot wait for my husband to be back, because like, hopefully I'll stop losing my mind at that point. Like, because the 2s are not for the weak. Working on this though did inspire me to start another knitting project, and I will be making a future video about that. There's something nice about knitting, and I like the way it lays, as far as the way it drapes for garments and things like that. And I'm trying to make something for my toddler since it's like super hot out here, and obviously crochet is going to be too thick. So because knitting uses less yarn and it's thinner, I think that it'll turn out better, especially since it gets up to like 120 degrees out here. If I make her like a nice light cotton t-shirt tank top thing, it'll be great. And I do want to sew some more stuff for her, but I cannot use cotton yarn because she started having sensory issues with the seams with cotton yarn. But if I use like the jersey knit yarn, then she's usually pretty okay with it. So I'll have to do some of that. Like, she loves when I make her stuff. Every time I make something, she asks for me, and I'm like, of course it's for you, of course. Like, at the end of the day, like, I don't care. She can steal whatever I take, or whatever I make, and like, at the end of the day, it's fine because she's adorable. But anyway, now that I've rambled on about my toddler and my life struggles, what do you think about like the chenille yarns, and which brands do you feel like make better quality ones as opposed to other ones? Because chenille yarns, another thing I've noticed, is that when you pull them, they will break, which is not great for structural integrity. So like some of the big twist, like blanket yarns, they'll have that weird texture. If you have a thing with the weird textures, let me know. If there's like a specific yarn that you refuse to use, or if there's a specific yarn that you would rather not use, but then someone asks you to make something with it and you had to use it, and like you hated the project the entire time. Like, I've had that happen. It's a struggle, especially when they're like, here's this yarn I got for you, and then it's like the worst quality yarn and they want you to make something out of it. It's It's not a fun time. But at the end of the day, I have a giant fluffy blanket that I'm probably going to sleep with tonight. And it's definitely going to get stolen. Overall, I genuinely did enjoy this knitting kit because like it came with everything it needed. That's the biggest thing with me with these kits, is that they never come with enough stuff. I actually had yarn left over because it tells you to stop halfway through your last skein to finish it off. So I ended up having quite a bit left over. And I could have made this blanket a little bit longer, but I didn't want to. This blanket did definitely test my patience a couple of times because I was dropping stitches here and there, but I know how to fix that. It's a bit cumbersome because of the size. And I was making this at my desk, which I eventually did move to my bed when making it, and that made life 10 times easier. I think it's a really good option if you want to try a larger project, but you lack the patience to commit to a larger project. And this one is definitely an approachable one, especially for beginners. Like, the directions are very, very clear on this. And it was fun and nice seeing something come together quickly as opposed to taking hours or days for a project to finally get done, like my crochet projects normally do. It was nice having a project that just got done in like a couple hours and is super warm and comfy and cozy. There were definitely a few moments where I had to stop and figure out what I was doing, especially with like the weaver's knot. Every time I had to make a weaver's knot, I had to stop, look at the directions, and figure out what I was doing because I could never remember how to do it. But you know, once I got into the rhythm of it, like, it became a really satisfying project to work on. I'd probably try another kit like this again. I think I want to do a knitting kit at some point, but I do have a couple other crochet kits that I need to make right now that my toddler picked out that she wants me to make for her. So I need to do those first. And then I think I can move on to a knitting kit. I found one that's a Stardew Valley socks knitting kit. It's like the Stardew Valley seasons. And I really want to do that one. But that is a project for another day. And the kit's over $100. So that is going to be a way in the future project. I'm probably going to spend the rest of the night wrapped up like a burrito in this blanket. And hopefully my toddler will let me get some sleep because, you know, we can only hope and pray. Knock on wood, you know. But that is it for today, guys. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And if you enjoyed this video, you could leave a like if you really wanted to. Or you could subscribe or do both of the things. It would really help my channel growth. Right now, since I'm super small, anything helps, really. Leaving a comment saying like hi or something. Just let me know in the comments what you want to see next and what you think about chenille yarns, because I'm really curious to know. And if you prefer knitting over crochet, I would love to know if you prefer to knit over crochet, because I know there's a lot of discourse between the two about like which one is superior, which I personally don't think either one is superior. I think it depends on the project you're making, what technique works better, because there are some things that look better knit and some things that look better crocheted. But all that being said, you have a great day, and I will see you guys next time. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I do want to remind you guys that this weekend is Memorial Day weekend, so please go ahead and remember a loved one who has served and fallen on that day. It can be a very serious day for those who knew someone who passed while in service, and it is a very serious thing. So remember that it's not just about a barbecue, because at the end of the day, there are people who served our country, like myself and my husband and half of my family. All gave some, but some gave all. And just remember that on this Memorial Day while you're sitting there having your barbecue or doing whatever it is you're doing on this holiday weekend. Just keep that in mind. It's something that can be easily forgotten when you get a free day off work for a holiday, and have as good of a weekend as you can possibly have. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.